effortlessly landed 2 hits on the demon, and he is defeated right away. Tori accidentally shows up at the end of the lesson. He is very joyful at the moment. Without a single care in the world, he walks up to the teacher and gives her boobs a squeeze. Let's forget that Tori ditched class to buy hentai video games. He is now giving a heartfelt sentiment. From now on, he will no longer be a weeaboo. Everybody is surprised because Tori has somehow grown up. But the moment was cut short when the teacher finally had enough with Tori, so she kicks him and sends him flying through a building. After a violent greeting, the class continue on to their history lesson. Tori is always showing off, even though he's dumb. As a result, he receives a random punishment from the teacher for his wrong answers. And the punishment is getting naked. The class next door is concentrating on their lesson when they hear a strange sound. Please, don't! I'm horny! Meanwhile, Azuma is an exchange student. Even though he is the king's son, no one showed up to escort him to his class. After talking to his father, they opened the classroom door to witness Tori getting naked. In the Far East, the students are limited to the age of 18. This is a world where political and military decisions are made by battles between students. Despite being the president of the student council, Tori has no special skills, but is a great dancer and is running on the streets like an idiot. He is always regretful about an accident that happened 10 years ago. A girl named Horizon was in an accident and passed away. Tori insisted that he was the one that killed Horizon. The Musashi ship landed at Mikawa. That night, Tori celebrated his debutante ball with his friends. He hired several men to dress in ghost costumes. As a result, the hall is blown away by the girls in his class. Meanwhile, at the Mikawa city center, a plan is being implemented. As per the king of Mikawa's orders, a nuclear reactor was activated, which means the city of Mikawa will soon be wiped out. No one knows the reason why the king and the champions of Mikawa want to commit suicide. At this moment, the territories of the Testament Union eventually join the war. In the Far East, the Testament Union is beyond everything. However, their entire army was completely defeated by an old man and his female automaton. They were about to leave when the automaton senses a nearby danger. She then uses her body as a shield against the enemy's bullet that was aimed at her master. Then a large wave of dark energy came rushing at them, but the old man managed to dodge it while holding the upper half of his automaton. When the smoke cleared, the man that attacked them showed up, and introduces himself as Tachibana Muneshige, known as the Speed God Garcia de Ceballos of the Tres Espada Kingdom. As per the City Council's orders, his goal for coming here is to stop them. Muneshige immediately fought against Tadakatsu, the old man. Tadakatsu is not to be taken lightly. His spear's head can slice through anything that is reflected on its blade. At that moment, Muneshige meets the king of Mikawa. He asks the king to explain why he wants to destroy Mikawa. The king of Mikawa created 8 types of Mortal Sin armaments, and distributed them to the 8 different countries. He did all this because he wanted the world to be engaged in a war where they would fight each other for the 8 armaments. However, in fact, he created 9 armaments. 10 years ago, it was he who caused his daughter to have a crash and turned her into a type of Mortal Sin armament. And yes, she is the one who Tori presumably killed. After acquiring answers, Muneshige tried his best to stop the king of Mikawa, but he couldn't escape Tadakatsu. No matter how speedy he was, his efforts were not enough. Muneshige was then killed by Tadakatsu, even though he only used the Dimension Trim and Transport spell. Fortunately, before taking his last breath, Muneshige managed to activate his armament's powerful cannon mode and aimed it at the nuclear reactor. Tadakatsu is not able to trim the dimensions anymore due to his lack of mana. He uses his female automaton's body as a shield before he slices the cannon's beam of energy, diverting its trajectory. After deflecting the attack, a girl shows up behind Tadakatsu. She is Muneshige's elder sister, and she doesn't want to fight against Tadakatsu. She just wants to retrieve her brother's body. After having a few words with the girl, Tadakatsu slowly walks into the center of the explosion, and the city of Mikawa was completely erased. Nothing left but a huge crater. On the same day, P-01S, the automaton, officially became the new king of Mikawa. As the leader of Mikawa, she is blamed for the death and destruction of this area. As a result, she is given the death sentence, in which she will kill herself. The flying city of Musashi is also in a state of absolute chaos. The only way to rescue P-01S, or now revealed as Horizon, is that they have to fight against the whole world. Meanwhile, Muneshige has to make his public appearance in order to prove to other countries that he is still alive. In front of them is the only champion of Mikawa who survived, Honda Futayo. She is the daughter of Tadakatsu. Because the scene is being broadcasted all over the earth, Futayo quickly tries to steal her father's spear as a way to save the Far East's reputation. However, her plans were halted by Muneshige. Futayo then takes her father's divine weapon, Tombo Kiri, and left, promising that she'll be stronger than her father. At school, the class thought that Tori was depressed about Horizon's situation. Some even cried for him and tried to motivate him as much as possible, but really he was looking down to read hentai. They finally have devised a plan. Because the Musashi Academy is divided into two sides, they hold a meeting in order to decide which students belong to which side. Tori and the others represent Musashi. Masazumi, the student council vice president, represents the Testament Union. If the academy team wins, they will rescue Horizon. Otherwise, they will have to accept Horizon's sentence. This will be a best out of three fight. In the first fight, their first foe is Naomasa, and she is a heavy hitter due to her giant mech that she made. Tori shifts his responsibility to his best friend, Shiro. He calmly moves forward and blocks a powerful punch from his mechanical foe. He explains that he has once made a deal with a god, in which he paid a sum of money to retrieve power equivalent to 150 defensive units. Yes, he has nothing but a huge amount of money. He uses the power of a rich player to decommission the 10-ton robot. Their next competitor is Mito, the representative of the feudal knights. After a quick discussion, Tori assigns the weakest girl in the class, Belle, to fight against Mito. Because the class wanted Mito to keep her social role as a knight intact, so they wanted her to win. But as she was about to admit defeat, Belle falls even before the fight has even started. Being the knight that she is, Mito comes to catch Belle and wins the second round. The final fight is a verbal one, between Tori and Masazumi. The rule is simple. Have a battle of debates. They have to convince their opponents about their ideals, until the opponent is either convinced, or they cannot continue. Tori volunteers to go first. Tori kept a cool composure before uttering this phrase, "Maybe we shouldn't rescue Horizon? It's really tiring." Masazumi put up a good fight until the end, but she knew that the right thing to do is to go save Horizon. But before the battle could end, the Pope President of the Testament Union, who was watching the fights, intervened. He and Masazumi now have a battle of debates as well. Both of them use morality to argue. The Pope uses his ultimate skill, which ruins Masazumi's image as a politician by unveiling her real gender. A trap. Tori plays dumb and elevates the situation by checking if this is true. But he was just kidding though. Through this, Masazumi managed her thoughts back together, and retorted that they would save Horizon no matter the cost. Already knowing that he would fail, the Pope had already sent Galileo, his vice president, to teach them a lesson. With Tres Espana's Model Sen armament, Galileo is invulnerable to any attack. Then he instantly teleports to Masazumi to attack her, but right on time, a spear appears and blocks him. She is Futayo, the leader of the Mikawa Security Corps. The atmosphere was intense. Suddenly, Tori shouts, "Here comes the Lord of Weebs!" And the king of Musashi, Yoshinao, replies, "Don't be rude, boy." Yoshinao requests the Pope that he command Galileo to retreat and let him punish the students by letting them fight against Futayo. Here is when Tori's sister, Kimi, volunteers to be the competitor for Futayo. Tori takes the opportunity to make a deal with the king. "If my sister wins, will you let me be king?" Tori's sister is somewhat between an immature dancer and a rapper. Futayo decides to end this quickly by using her impressive speed to engage and knock her opponent out. However, Kimi is unharmed and is still standing, swaying her body like she is about to dance. Tori stands behind his sister to praise and motivate her. She then created a dance. Even though the skill has 0 damage, it provides the user with the ability to dodge basically any attack. In the end, Futayo is defeated after Kimi had reminded her what were her duties as the leader of the security corps and as a samurai. Yoshinao, the king, begins to contemplate. If he appoints Tori the king, the city will be rescued. However, the Testament Union will consider Tori a danger and will destroy the whole country. Seeing the happy face of Tori, Yoshinao's whole mood changes for the better. He announces that he'll continue to rule the city of Musashi, operated by the Testament Union. But Tori and Horizon will be appointed as the new viceroys. Angered by Yoshinao's decision, the Pope called to warn them of what awaits them. The Musashi Ariadas Academy will rescue Horizon after Tori's victory. It is not until now that Tori reveals his true personality. Being the king of Musashi is just a small part of his plan. Conquering the whole world is what he is looking for. He and his class, along with Futayo, now execute their plans to rescue Horizon. The team is close by where Horizon is kept. Their strategist of this fight will be Tusan, vice president of the student council. They have assessed the situation as so. There are 3 battleships in the sky defending the valley. The room that Horizon is kept in is guarded by Tertio, a powerful defensive force. The Tertio are only there to protect and buy time until the hour of Horizon's execution. Both the ground and sky are in complete lockdown. Their plan is to simply clear them all, forcing other countries to admit Musashi's potential armed forces. But wait! Oh no! Where's their king? Tori immaturely rushes to the enemies. His allies are all skilled ones. Tori and the others worked out a strategy, which is to use their heavily armored friend, Adele, as a shield to charge at Tertio. Meanwhile, their warship is attacked by Tres Espana's battleships. In order to protect the warship, Asama performs the ritual, Yume Tsubaki, and destroys the enemy's battleship. A god of war was then summoned, aiming at Asama, but it was defeated by the 2 witches of the academy, Margot and Mauga, who are professional snipers. On the ground, the war is still going on. Tori builds a shield-like formation and they are trying to approach the enemies. However, they are then trapped and divided into several small parts. The leader of the team is literally climbing on a tree to hide. But then, Mito and Naomasa came on time to provide support. They landed on the ground and cleared the enemy's defense. Just a few seconds ago, Tori was timid as a mouse, but now he is scoffing at the defeated enemies just to look cool. Naomasa will take care of the Tertio so that Tori can get to the main base, where they meet Galileo and the Pope, with their finest warriors. The Pope uses his Mortal Sin armament to disassemble all their weapons. This type of armament cannot inflict any damage, but it will render any attacking force weaponless. Tori's army gradually gets beaten down due to the lack of weapons. Seeing his men's resolve in saving Horizon, Tori makes a contract with the Asama Shrine. He asks Asama to become the third party to help him sign an advanced covenant. From now on, he will be able to share his power with others. As the Viceroy of Musashi, Tori rules over 25% of the country. This means he can use 1/4 of the power of Musashi. Whoever fights under him will be granted an unlimited amount of power. In other words, they can use their magic infinitely. In return for that ability, Tori must always be happy. If Tori would ever feel sad or depressed for only a second, he will die. In another place, Futayo faces Monoshige for the first time. After a verbal greeting, both of them immediately come to blows. They are both skilled speed experts. At first, Futayo was partially defeated, but she got back on her feet and went for a second round. With motivation from her comrades, she believed in her speed, not doubting it like before, and she successfully beat Monoshige. After losing to Tori's army, Tres Espana's battleships and infantry began to retreat. Tori stands in front of Horizon's cell room. Horizon asks with a poker face, "May I ask who you are? And you're interrupting my business." Shamelessly, Tori is still outside the room and confessing his love to her for an entire 5 minutes straight. But when he was bad-mouthing the Pope for interrupting his confession, he accidentally touches Horizon's boobs through the barrier. And he was like, "That even feels better than I thought," as whoever touches that barrier will die immediately. However, due to their strong chemistry and plot armor, Tori is still alive and Horizon is rescued. The other members quickly got on their battleship and fled. Luckily, when Tori was being stupid and got left behind, he is then rescued by his slime classmate, Nenji. The Pope cannot do anything but witness everything hopelessly. To save the Pope's reputation, a group of upperclassmen makes a rather arbitrary decision to take off with the Pope's battleship and chase after Tori. Tori and Horizon are waiting for the battleship at the bow of their ship. Horizon activates a newly stolen Mortal Sin armament, Hitan no Taida, and blows away the enemy's battleship in just one hit. At the same time, A part of Horizon's emotions are now unlocked. The 8 Motosen armaments are the combinations of 8 parts of Horizon's emotions, and Tori will help her get them back. While at the Musashi Academy, the headmaster and the teachers are on their way home when there is a sound of a battleship invading Musashi's airspace. Labeled PA Oda, they came to give Musashi a warning that they can see through the invisible mode of Musashi. They are also known as the 5 Great Peaks. And that wraps up this anime. For this one, I think it was a pretty normal anime. The story at first was a bit weird and hard to follow, but it grew on me. The visuals were a blast from the past. Sadly, the anime only has 1 season. You guys have to read the light novels to know more. And so, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like. See you guys